Hello everyone, and good evening to you all. My name is Felton Parker. Today is Thursday, March 20th, 2025. As always, each day is a wonderful day to be blessed by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I sincerely hope you folks had a truly blessed and wonderful Thursday. What I have for you guys in tonight's video is a list of all the National Day holidays from my National Day calendar segment. That includes my featured National Day holiday. Also tonight, right after my National Day calendar segment, I'll have my famous birthday segment for you all, where it features all our famous people who were born on this day. Also tonight in my weather segment, I will let you all know exactly what we're expecting for tomorrow, which is Friday, the entire weekend. That's both Saturday and Sunday, and also through much of next week. So without further ado, let's get things started here on this Thursday night as I begin my National Day calendar segment. As we conclude yet another day. Getting so close to the weekend, just got to get through tomorrow first. Of course, in case you guys haven't noticed, spring is finally here. So spring is officially sprung. So that's what makes today officially the first day of spring. The official vernal spring equinox began early this morning at 4:01 a.m. Central Daylight Time. So that means it's the time of year we look forward to nice weather. Look forward to much warmer temperatures. So what a winter it has been. Now looking back in the winter, we've had outbreak. We've had more significant outbreaks of cold weather during the months of not so likely in December, but we've had more significant cold outbreaks during the months of December. Not so likely in December, but during the months of January. During the months of January and February, we've had outbreaks of cold weather. Of course, we've had trace amounts of snow during this past winter, but not anything measurable. But we have seen temperatures dropping into the teens on a couple of occasions in January. We were close to that in February, so that's weather-wise. So we look like the warmer temperatures, like outdoor gardening, planting. I'm going to tell you guys all about it here. Of course, I'll tell you guys all about it. Spring begins. I believe this is what I have posted to you all early this morning. Spring begins on the March or vernal equinox, which is when the amount of sunshine is approximately 12 hours long. The amount of sunlight will incrementally increase into the first day of summer. This year, the summer solstice occurs exactly 3 months from today on Friday, June 20th. Exactly 3 months from today, it'll be summer. The vernal or spring, #spring begins. The vernal equinox marks the moment the sun crosses the celestial equator. This is the imaginary line in the sky above the Earth's equator from south to north. The vernal equinox happens on March 19th, 20th, or 21st every year in the northern hemisphere. And of course, this year, as I just mentioned, the official spring equinox occurred this morning at 4:01 a.m. at approximately 4:01 a.m. Central Daylight Time. In the southern hemisphere, the same event marks the beginning of fall, opposite seasons. So, if south of the equator, it is fall. That means that they look forward to cooler temperatures. But here up north, in the northern hemisphere, it is officially spring. Meteorologists mark the spring season from March 1st through May 31st. This year, meteorological spring began on March 1st, which was a Saturday, and it will conclude this year on Saturday, May 31st. Already looking ahead. Thanks, Jessica. I hope you've had a wonderful first day of spring. In 2020 and more recently in 2024, spring arrived a little earlier due to it being a leap year. On leap day, there's a short math lesson regarding the Gregorian calendar. To keep our calendar following the season so that spring happens when flowers grow and winter arrives when snow falls. Good evening to you, Noah. How are you doing tonight? How was your day today? So glad you could join me. I don't have lots of time left. In 2020 and more recently in 2024, spring arrived a little earlier due to it being a leap year, both being a leap year. On leap day, there's a short math lesson regarding the Gregorian calendar. To keep our calendar following the season so that spring happens when flowers grow and winter arrives when snow falls, an additional day was figured into the years divisible by the number 4. This calls both the spring equinoxes of 2020 and 2024. Both springs to occur earlier than any living human being alive had ever seen. Prior to 2020, the earliest spring on record took place in 1896. Of course, you can visit almanac.com for more of this information. So here's how to observe. Get ready for longer days and increased sunshine. Tune up the lawnmower. More sunshine means the grass will be growing. And before you know it, the heat will be on. Before you know it, it will be 95 degrees outside already. So get prepared for this. So enjoy the nice and pleasantly mild to warm temperatures. Most of you see daytime highs in the 70s and 80s each year during the spring equinox. Spend some time outside. Plant your garden or start planting. Host a spring party with lots of bright, fresh foods. Use hashtag spring begins to post on social media. So when spring begins in the northern hemisphere, fall is beginning in the southern hemisphere. Vice versa. And of course, in the month of September, while we begin the autumnal equinox, people in the southern hemisphere will begin their spring. 6 months from now. Vernal is Latin, so vernal is Latin for spring, and equinox means equal night. During the vernal equinox, we experience equal amounts of daylight and night. Following the vernal equinox, the days become longer. So right now, we're at the time. Of course, we all know that daylight saving time this year. So as of right now, due to daylight saving time beginning on the second Sunday in March, it is actually still winter. Of course, we actually do not complete any 4 seasons without daylight saving time being in observance. Due to the very daylight saving time begins on like the last week or so before the spring equinox, depending on whenever the second Sunday in March occurs. This year, the second Sunday in March happened on March 9th. And this year, daylight saving time began just exactly 11 days ago on Sunday, March 9th. Next year, it began, and of course, so it is. So this is the season of spring. Of course, today has marked officially the first day of. So hard to believe it is already springtime. So it is spring. So spring, also known as springtime, is one of the 4 temperate seasons succeeding winter and preceding summer. There are various technical definitions of spring, but local usage of the term varies according to local climate, cultures, and customs. When it is spring in the northern hemisphere, it is autumn in the southern hemisphere, and vice versa. At the spring equinox, also called the vernal equinox, days and nights are approximately 12 hours long, excuse me, with daytime length increasing and nighttime length decreasing as the season progresses into the summer solstice. Excuse me. The spring equinox is March in the northern hemisphere and September in the southern hemisphere, while the summer solstice is in June in the northern hemisphere and in December in the southern hemisphere. Spring and springtime refer to the season and also to ideas of rebirth, rejuvenation, renewal, resurrection, and regrowth. Subtropical and tropical areas have climates better described in terms of other seasons. For example, dry or wet, monsoon or cyclonic. Cultures may have local names for seasons which have little equivalence to the terms originating in Europe. So, meteorologists define 4 seasons in many climatic areas: spring, summer, autumn or fall, and winter. These are determined by the values of their average temperatures on a monthly basis, which each season lasts in 3 calendar months. The 3 warmest months are by definitions of summer. And of course, spring is the transitioning from winter to summer. The intervening gaps of spring and autumn. Meteorological spring can therefore start on different dates in different regions. In both the United States and the United Kingdom, spring months are March, April, and May. Following the Irish calendar, in Ireland, spring is often defined as February, March, and April. In Sweden, meteorologists define the beginning of spring as the first occasion in which the average 24 hours temperature exceeds 0 degrees Celsius for 7 consecutive days, and thus the date varies with latitude and elevation, but no earlier than February 15th and no later than July 31st. In places such as Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and Brazil, the spring months are September, October, and November. In the northern hemisphere, such countries as Germany, the United States, Canada, and the UK, solar reckoning was traditionally used with the solstices and equinoxes, representing the midpoints of each season. However, the astronomical vernal equinox, it can land on any day between March 19th and the 21st, can be taken to mark the first day of spring, with the summer solstice around the 21st of June marked as the first day of summer. By solar reckoning, spring is held to begin on February 1st until the first day of summer on May Day, with the summer and winter solstices being marked as midsummer and midwinter respectively, instead of the beginning of the season as is the case with astronomical reckoning. The beginning of spring is not always determined by fixed calendar dates. The phenological, ecological definition of spring relates to biological indicators such as the blossoming of a range of plant species, the activities of animals, and the special smell of soil that has reached a temperature for microflora to flourish. These indicators, along with the beginning of spring, vary according to the local climate, according to the specific weather of a particular year. In England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, the National Trust runs the Blossom Watch campaign, which encourages people to share images of blossom with one another as an early indicator of the arrival of the season. Some ecologists divide the calendar to 6 seasons. In addition to spring, ecological reckoning identifies an earlier separate prevernal or earlier pre-spring season between hibernal and between the winter and spring seasons. This is the time only when the hardiest flowers like the crocus are in bloom, sometimes while there is still some snow cover on the ground. During early spring, the axis of the Earth is increasing its tilt relative to the sun, and the length of daylight rapidly increases for the relevant hemisphere. The hemisphere begins to warm significantly and causes new plant growth to spring forth, giving the season its name. Any snow begins to melt. Swelling stream, any snow begins to melt, swelling streams of runoff, and any frost become less severe. In climates that have no snow and rare frost, air and ground temperatures increase more rapidly. Many flowering plants bloom at this time of year in a long succession, sometimes the beginning when snow is still on the ground and continuing into early summer. In normally snowless areas, spring may begin as early as February in the northern hemisphere, heralded by the blooming of the deciduous magnolias, cherries, and quince. Many temperate areas have a dry spring and a wet autumn, which brings about flowering in the season and more consistent with the need of water as well as warmth. Subarctic areas may not experience spring at all until May. While spring is a result of warmth caused by the changing orientation of the Earth's axis relative to the sun, the weather in many parts of the world is affected by other less predictable events. The rainfall in spring follows trends related to longer cycles, such as the solar cycle, are events created by the ocean currents and ocean temperatures. For example, the El Nino affecting the Southern Oscillation Index. Unstable spring weather may occur more often when warmer begins to invade from lower latitudes, while cold air is still pushing from the polar regions. Flooding is also the most common in near and mountainous areas during this time of year because of snowmelt, which is accelerated by warm rains. In North America, Tornado Alley is the most active at this time of year, especially since the Rocky Mountains prevent the surging hot and cold air masses from spreading eastward and instead force them into direct conflict. Besides, tornadoes, supercell thunderstorms can also provide dangerously large hail and very high winds, for which a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning is usually issued. Even more so than in winter, the jet streams play an important role in unstable and severe northern hemisphere weather in springtime. In recent decades, season creep has been observed, which means that many phenological signs of spring are occurring early in many regions by around 2 days per decade. Of course, Easter is the most important religious feast in the Christian liturgical year. So, spring often begins during Lent and also Easter and then May Day, and also Passover. So, this is what we know about spring. Or springtime. And of course, here are your other National Day holidays from this list here. Not only was today the first day of spring, today also was National Spray Tanning Day, Absolutely Incredible Kids Day, National Former Rescuer Day, National Proposal Day, National Native HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, and also today was National Ravioli Day. Excuse me. And also, today was also International Day of Happiness. Of course, International Day of Happiness. So make this a very good. Okay. Each year on this day, the International Day of Happiness promotes the idea that part of humanity's progress should include how to increase happiness and well-being. For far too long, progress in the world has been all about the economy, but more people are realizing that happiness is also an essential part of progress. Happiness is defined as a state of being happy. When someone is happy, they are delighted or glad. People might differ in what makes them happy. Some delight in a good cup of coffee. Others are glad when their dog greets them at the door. According to research, 3 things make people happy. 1, the quality of their relationships. 2, having a job or hobby that they love and that challenges them. 3, helping others through volunteer work or random acts of kindness. Having basic needs can also include happiness. However, having extra money does not necessarily make people happier. When there are large numbers of happy people, it makes entire communities, even entire countries, a happier place to live. Some of the happiest countries in the world include Finland, Denmark, Norway, and Iceland. Apparently, living in colder climates is not an indicator of happiness. Switzerland, New Zealand, Canada, and Australia also rank in the top 10 for the happiest countries. The United States ranks 19. On this day, people around the world are encouraged to create more happiness in the world around them. Think about what you can do to create more happiness. Maybe you can volunteer, help someone in need. Or maybe you need to focus on becoming a happier person. This might involve improving the quality of your relationships. It may also be about finding a more fulfilling job. Whatever you do on this day, be sure to spread the happiness on social media with hashtag International Day of Happiness. Of course, that is all I have to say about that. Of course, you guys know exactly what movie I'm referring to when I say that's all I have to say about that. Now, famous birthdays. I'm trying to go as quick as I can. We're like 20 minutes away from midnight. Today, born on this day, Thursday, March 20th. Today, movie actor David Thewlis turns 62. TV actor Mickey Day turns 45. TV actor Julio Macias turns 35. TV actress Bianca Lawson turns 46. Director Spike Lee turns 68. Wrestler Sting turns 66. MMA fighter Daniel Cormier turns 46. Tennis player Sloane Stephens turns 32. TV actress Christy Carlson Romano turns 41. Children's author Lois Lowry turns 88. Soap opera actor Steve McFadden turns 66. Movie actress Holly Hunter turns 67. TV actor Justin H. Meehan turns 35. And hockey player Bobby Orr turns 77. Those are famous people born on this day, Thursday, March 20th. And now, you noticed on my television set, NCAA March Madness. Of course, we've had a full slate of 16 games that was played earlier today, and of course we have 16 more playing tomorrow in the first rounds. Now I'm going to go over some final scores, and then I'll get to you with you later. And so, of course, you'll notice it's been a rather busy day full of basketball. Something one of my favorite time, my favorite. Of course, watching March Madness is one of my favorite things that I like to watch each year. Now, here's some final scores from earlier today. In the South Regional Bracket, the first round of the South Regional Bracket, 9th seed Creighton defeats Louisville. 9th seed Creighton defeats 8th seed Louisville 89-75. In Purdue defeats High Point. 4th seed Purdue defeats High Point. In the Midwest Regional Bracket, 75-63. Third seeded Wisconsin defeats Montana, 85-66. The top seed in the Midwest Regional Bracket wins over SIU Edwardsville, 78-40. And also the top seed in the South Regional bracket, Auburn defeats Alabama State 83 to 63. Here's a major upset from earlier today. 12th seeded McNeese defeats upsets 5th State Clemson 69 to 67. You know where McNeese is located. 6th seeded BYU in the East Regional bracket defeats first round of the East Regional bracket defeats VCU 80 to 71. 8th seeded Gonzaga defeats the 9th seeded Georgia, another upset in the Midwest Regional bracket, 89 to 68. 2nd seeded Tennessee wins over 15th seeded Wofford in the Midwest Regional bracket, 77 to 62. Also, 10th seeded Arkansas defeats the 7th seeded Kansas in the West Regional bracket, 79 to 72. 4th seeded Texas wins over 13th seeded Yale, 80 to 71. This is from the South Regional bracket. 11th seed Drake defeats 6th seed Missouri, 67 to 57. That's in the 67-57 in the West Regional bracket, in the West Region. And also, will be, of course, in progress. And also, 10th seed the 2nd seed in the West Regional bracket, St. John defeats Omaha 83 to 53, and also UC 7th seed UCLA tops out Utah State 72 to 47. And also we currently have, and also the 5th seeded Michigan defeats UC San Diego. Final score was 68 to 65. So each of the teams that will be advancing to the second round. Now here's a preview of tomorrow's game. So 9th seeded we have in the East region. So excuse me, Baylor and Mississippi State in the East regional bracket. 15th seeded Robert Morris and So tomorrow, so here are the following games. So I'll just show this to y'all rather than me tell them out to you. That way, I'm not spending as much time. So here's the following what you're going to see in tomorrow's first round. It includes in the East Region bracket tomorrow, 11:15 a.m. our time. 9th seeded Baylor will face 8th seeded Mississippi State. 2nd seed Alabama, 15th seeded 11:40 a.m. Robert Morris in Alabama, and also Duke, top seed in the East Regional bracket, will face 16th seed St. Mary's. That game is tomorrow. It will be played tomorrow at 1:50 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And another number 1 seed in the West Regional bracket, Florida, let's see, will face Norfolk State tomorrow evening at 5:50 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That will be played on TNT. So I just thought I'd go over the final score. So right now we still have the this game is from the between UNC Wilmington and Texas Tech. In the West Regional bracket, the first round, Texas 3rd seed Texas Tech in the West Regional bracket is leading UNCW with the score of 76 to 64 with 2:42 approximately left in the second half. So I'm gonna go on with you weather. So I'm gonna go on and provide you as much information I can. So of course it turned out to be a cooler than normal day with plenty of sunshine, wall sunshine. Of course, we still experience quite breezy conditions, but not as expected this yesterday. Of course, we do have a warm-up on the way. Of course, tonight we're expecting our coldest night that we'll probably see for the foreseeable future. Of course, I do need you folks to please prepare for the severe weather threat that is to arrive on Sunday, late in the weekend. So we have a severe weather threat on Sunday. We still have that 50 week. So forecast confidence continues to increase for the threat of strong to severe storms across much of the 4-state region Sunday afternoon into the evening and overnight hours, and ahead of a strong cold front. No, spring is finally here, so it is the time of year to get prepared for these severe weather outbreaks that we could be dealing with. So we could be dealing with a parade of these within the next 2 to 3 months at least. Severe weather threat Sunday, level 2 out of 5. 15% is equal to a slight risk. This will occur mostly during the afternoon through the evening and overnight hours. Highest risk for severe storms mainly near and southeast of the I-30 corridor. Here are the potential hazards. Large hail and damaging thunderstorm wind gusts will be the main threats. An isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. Locally heavy downpours will be possible. So we still have that 15% chance ever since I was showing you guys earlier this week. So of course, please have multiple ways to get severe weather warnings. So overnight lows tonight mostly in the mid to upper 30s with patchy frost possible. High temperatures on Friday, that's tomorrow, will range from the upper 60s to lower 70s across the region under mostly clear skies. So it will be chilly with patchy frost tonight. So get prepared. So if you can, bring in those outdoor pets and plants to keep them protected. Some areas may get down close to freezing. We'll be close to it, but I doubt we'll get. I doubt getting ready to freeze. So patchy frost is possible. Diminishing northwest winds and patchy frost. Tomorrow, going to your Friday, expect it will be a pleasant day, mostly sunny skies. Now today we have high temperature in the 60s, but tomorrow we should be in the 70s. So tomorrow should be definitely warmer than today. So normal high is now. So tomorrow will be normal high is 72, normal low is 49. 88 is the record high set on this day back in 2017. 22 is the record low set on this day back in 1965. And of course, portions of Arkansas are dealing with massive wildfires due to ongoing dry conditions and lack of rainfall, strong winds, and low humidity. That's why they're under a red flag warning. Elsewhere, we are not under a watch or warning here on this Thursday night. We're all quiet here if you look on the Shreveport radar. But if you look on the regional radar, of course, they're extending just a small couple pockets along the Kentucky-Virginia border and also along the Tennessee-North Carolina border. So basically, we're all quiet here, and not with basically not much of anything is happening. So it's been so as expected. It's been a rather breezy day. Of course, even though we weren't any wind, it was another rather breezy day with the northwest winds keeping things relatively cool. Now today we had a high. We actually once again we dealt with unusually low dew points and humidity levels. We had strong winds from the north to northwest. But not quite the gusty winds that we've experienced yesterday. So we still had wind gusts over 30 miles per hour at times, with winds peaking at least somewhere over 20 miles per hour. This was like early during the, and of course, finally, and of course, we've seen a mix of clouds and sunshine. Once again, it's been another dry and another cool. So we experienced cooler temperatures here on this Thursday. Our high temperature today was 65 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. So that is about at least 7 degrees below what our normal high temperature should be. So the first day of school, I apologize. Where did I get that from? The first day of spring turned out to be a rather chilly one for us. So here's how things are looking here tonight here on this Thursday night. Temperature outside is 45 degrees with clear skies. Of course, with clear skies, skies are clear with the haze here on this Thursday night. The temperature 45 degrees. We have humidity is 53%. Dew point is 28 degrees. Winds are calm. Barometric pressure is at 30.23 inches of mercury, and we have visibility reduced to 6 miles per hour with hazy conditions. All this coming from the fires across portions of the region due to ongoing lack of rainfall. Critical fire weather in the central U.S. and eastern Florida Peninsula. Another Pacific storm impacting the northwest. Gusty winds and dry conditions will continue elevated to critical fire weather Friday over parts of the central and southern plains, Ozarks, and eastern Florida Peninsula. Another Pacific storm will impact the northwest U.S. with heavy mountain snow and low elevation rain Friday into Saturday. So that means the reason we're seeing hazy conditions is due to reduced visibility. Basically, it's due to of course, finally winds have died down, but get yourselves prepared for another rather breezy day tomorrow as we go into your Friday. So it would not be even though we weren't under a wind advisory earlier today, like we have been during the past couple of days. So it's been quite windy the past few days. So today was another breezy day, but that breeze. But I hope you all were able to hold on to your hats despite plenty of sunshine. Now tonight it's gonna be a chilly night with clear skies. In fact, tonight could easily be the coldest night they will see, at least for the next several nights. So low temperature tonight 37 degrees with a southwest wind at 4 miles per hour, no rains expected. So of course. So it's gonna be quite chilly. So you probably want to bring in those pets and plants, and also so you definitely want to prepare yourselves tomorrow morning. Grab those jackets or sweaters. So you may need a jacket or sweater tomorrow morning, but definitely tomorrow you basically will not need it. Tomorrow, expect the return of breezy conditions. It will be pleasant with plenty of sunshine. High temperature 73 degrees. We have a south-southwest wind at 14 miles per hour with gusts up to 29 miles per hour. So we could once again be dealing with breezy conditions, just like what we've experienced today. Also, actually temperatures will actually be somewhere close to normal for this time of year tomorrow. So tomorrow should be a rather seasonal day. So tomorrow's going to be another nice day for us. So we expect clear skies and overnight hours tonight. We'll start off tomorrow morning 6 a.m. with clear skies. 6 a.m. tomorrow morning with clear skies. We should be at 40. We should be down to 37 degrees. So it's going to be quite chilly start to the day. So you probably want to grab those coats, maybe jacket or light sweater, before you head out tomorrow morning. But tomorrow, with sunshine tomorrow morning 9 a.m. with sunshine, we should be at 48 degrees. Tomorrow at noon, lunchtime with sunshine, we should be up to 64 degrees. 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon with sunshine, we should be at 71 degrees. 6 p.m. tomorrow evening with sunshine, we should be at 71 degrees. 9 p.m. tomorrow night with clear skies, we should be down to 62 degrees. So we're gonna close out the week. We're gonna close out this week with beautiful and nice weather. First full day of spring. It's going to bring a season. It may have a touch of winter to start tomorrow morning given the below normal temperatures, but plenty of sunshine with the fairly decent amount of sunshine. We're gonna be thinking spring. So it looks like so if you're liking the taste of spring, of course. Spring is sprung, so if you're liking the taste of spring, this is exactly what we're going to be dealing with. So, of course, we have spring-like temperatures in the forecast. Not only that, but we all have a chance of spring-like thunderstorms in the forecast. That's set for Sunday. Now, here's what the next 7 to 10 days have in store for us. So, low temperature tonight, 37 degrees. Of course, it's going to be a rather chilly start to the day with clear skies. Now, tomorrow, going to your Friday. Expect breezy and pleasant conditions with plenty of sunshine. Nice ending to the week. Definitely spring-like. High of 73, lower 49. Winds will be from the south-southwest at 14 miles per hour. We could see gusts up to 29 miles per hour. No rains expected. Saturday, of course, as we start the weekend, it will be a very warm day for us with mostly sunny skies. High of 81, low of 63. Winds will be from the south at 10 miles per hour. No rains expected. And of course, Sundays we still have that severe weather. We have it. At least a slight risk of be prepared. So it will be a breezy and warm day for us with mostly cloudy skies. Expect a couple strong thunderstorms in the afternoon. Storms can bring flooding, downpours, hail, damaging wind gusts, and even isolated tornadoes. So Sunday could be quite an active and rather busy and rough day for us. High of 86, low of 55. Winds will be from the southwest at 14 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Chance of rain 70%. Of course, Monday is when things begin to get calm. Expect much calmer conditions as going to your Monday. Expect mostly sunny. It'll be mostly sunny and pleasant. Mostly sunny and pleasant for us. High of 77, low of 54. Winds will be from the east-northeast at 8 miles per hour. No rains expected. Tuesday, very warm day with plenty of sunshine. High of 83, low of 55. Winds will be from the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Chance of rain 10%. Maybe during just a chance of a small stray shower too, but I'm not counting on anything significant. Looks like Wednesday, the nice and warm weather will continue as we go into your Wednesday. Very warm, plenty of sunshine, high of 84, low of 56. Winds will be from the southeast at 8 miles per hour. No rains expected. And by the time we go to your Thursday, next week, expect mostly sunny skies, high of 79, low of 58. Winds will be from the southeast at 8 miles per hour. No rains expected. Of course, we'll close out next week with partly cloudy next Friday, which is the 28th. We have highs in the low 80s with partly cloudy skies. No rains expected. Expect plenty of sunshine for next Saturday, which is the 28th. Next Saturday, which is the 29th. Highs will be in the low 80s and no rains expected. Next Sunday, which is the 30th, we have another chance of rain around with partly cloudy skies. A chance of maybe a shower, thunderstorm, or two possible. Highs will reach the mid 80s with a 30% rain chance. So we have so with the exception of tonight and first thing tomorrow morning, expect a nice long run of spring-like temperatures. So we should have highs in reaching the low 70s tomorrow, which is just about where we should be this time of year. So Tomorrow will be a rather seasonal day for us with highs in the low 70s. We have highs in the low 80s for Saturday as we start the weekend. For Sunday, we reach the mid 80s. That's likely to be the warmest we'll see after the next 7 to 10 days. We have with that severe weather threat upon us for Sunday. Monday, we'll kind of lower down a few degrees with highs reaching the mid to upper 70s. Tuesday, both Tuesday and Wednesday, we should have highs reaching the low to mid 80s each day from Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And by Thursday of next week, we'll lower down a few degrees with highs reaching the upper 70s. So we have a full week of spring-like temperatures if that's what you prefer. Rain chances, no rain expected for tomorrow or Saturday. We have that 70% rain chance with the severe weather threat, so be prepared for that for Sunday. And of course, mainly, basically the entirety of next week is looking rather dry, with no rain expected. Say for that 10% rain chance for Tuesday of next week. So basically, much of the entirety of next week is looking rather dry for us. So it's looking rather dry for us. So looks like we have a nice long run of spring-like temperatures. So spring-like weather arrives just so. Even it's going to be a bit chilly tonight, but we're in for a warm up if that's what you prefer during the spring, with spring-like temperatures. So after the cold start tomorrow morning, we should warm up well into the 70s for tomorrow, which is Friday. It gets even warmer to the weekend. So the better half of the weekend, of course, will be Saturday because we have a decent chance of strong severe storms arriving on Sunday, and then of course we'll dry out. And also temperatures will remain basically on the warm side as we go through much of next week. Well, that will be all that I have for you guys here on this Thursday night. Once again, my name is Felton Parker. I'm officially signing off here. You guys have a good night, sleep peacefully, take care of yourselves and each other. Most of all, remain blessed and stay safe. Thank you.